Welcome back to another live stream. Today we're going to be covering the price of Bitcoin, which has fallen down to currently $77,800. We reached a low of $75,500, and this is big stuff because we're getting close to the lows created in April of 2025. Obviously, over the past couple of weeks, we shared that we aren't so. I'm personally not optimistic about markets. I didn't believe that it made sense to be optimistic when you're playing the 4-year cycles perfectly. You had a Q4 top post halving year. In this particular cycle, you had the same thing take place in the one before, and even in Genesis. So you're playing the 4-year cycles exactly. Okay, I understand the business cycle element, but the business cycles, for it to shift into a 5-year cycle, you need the ISM PMI data to show an expansion in the economy, and there clearly is no expansion. We're still in a contracting economy. So until you go back into the over 50 range, the Bitcoin 4-year cycle rules are going to apply. It's simple as. And I know it's frustrating. I know we didn't see the euphoric top that everybody wanted to see, but facts are facts. So there wasn't a point from my perspective to have optimism. I still believe that Bitcoin has a chance of retesting its 200 daily moving average, but it's not looking good on the prices now, and it's happening due to some breaking news, which I will go through in a second. But yeah, it's a tough time. It's a tough time. We'll get through it. Everything will be for the better, and I have some good news too to make sure that you don't feel too awful about the current market situation. I did take some profits off of the table from Ethereum because we're forming a head and shoulder. I know I said I would tell you some good news, but yeah, I know. Unfortunately, with Ethereum, it's not the best. Huge head and shoulders was forming on the daily time frame. You probably remember from the past few updates. We highlighted this. We got the sort of retest almost confirming its existence, and then boom, down went the price of Ethereum. Yesterday we did some damage, but today with the breaking news, I'll talk about it. Price has been vomiting. We went from 2.7 all the way down to 2.2, almost a 17% correction within one daily candle. Ridiculous. And I'm still bullish on Ethereum until we go to about a certain level. Again, all will be discussed on today's live stream. So stay tuned until the end. Make sure you are destroying the like button as you're coming into today's show. I was actually at a date. I'll be honest with you. And you know how it is with crypto. It's every day there's something, and we don't really get to catch a break. I've probably, the last time I took a vacation was maybe when I had surgery from appendicitis. And apart from that, we're here every single day, and I will continue to be here every single day. And I thought today, you know what? It's a Saturday. Markets are going to be chill. Saturdays usually have no volatility. So let me do something that the average teenager does. And markets started to vomit to the downside, and I've decided that the Crypto Kids community is more important than anything else. So we are here, and if you can destroy the like button, I will definitely appreciate your support. Okay, so over the past 24 hours, we have liquidated $1.13 billion worth of longs on Ethereum. Bitcoin has liquidated $759 million. $1.1 billion for Ethereum is a big quantity. It is a very big quantity. I can't lie to you. I am reading the comments. I am checking the comments. Don't worry. Yeah, let me know if you have comments. I will go through them as the stream progresses. So usually, right, you get like $200 million liquidations, $300 million liquidations. 1.1 billion is a very vast sum. And all of this big dumpage on a Saturday, which traditionally doesn't happen, is occurring because of predominantly two things. The first one is increasing tensions geopolitically, specifically in the Middle Eastern region, and more specifically in the region of, in the country of Iran. Today, there were some news that there was a gas leak in Iran, potential American involvement, and that's leading to market fear. And Bitcoin is the most liquid asset over the weekend. Traditional finance, they do not trade over the weekend. So when there are attacks, historically speaking, during President Trump's administration, current one, we see it take place over the weekend, so they don't impact the traditional financial markets. But Bitcoin, absorbs all of that fear. So that's reason number one. Reason number two, today's January the 31st, and we have officially entered into a partial government shutdown. When we think of the long-term approach, markets don't care about shutdowns, but that initial sort of day of the shutdown, it's a little bit scary. And all of that is being taken out on the Bitcoin price action. And it's sad that it is a Saturday because people have nothing else to trade than particularly Bitcoin. You know, the S&P is closed. Stocks obviously closed too. Gold, most of the gold markets, I mean, they're very illiquid. So people flock into Bitcoin to just, you know, get rid of their riskier bets during times of uncertainty, right? So those are the two major news that are causing prices to decrease to the downside. I have a couple of charts that I want to show you. A lot of people want to know what is going to happen next. And I just got to say, today marks the 10th largest single day liquidation event in history. It is not comparable to what took place on October the 10th, the day that everybody, including me, got wrecked on at least one or two or three trades. And it was a sad day. It was this day right over here where we had this huge candle. That day, we liquidated approximately about $30 to $50 billion worth of positions. So in comparison, it's nothing, but it has ended up being placed on one of the top 10 largest single liquidation events in history. Now, obviously, if you want to trade the volatility, you can go to the links in the description down below to sign up to Weeks or Levex or Coinflare and get the best bonuses available when you do sign up with the links in the description down below. Please make sure to continue putting your comments in the chat. We will do a Q&A session and I will go through everything that you have to share. And if you have any particular altcoins that you would like me to look at, then obviously we can do that as well. First chart is not going to be a Bitcoin chart, but it is going to be the total crypto market cap charts. It's a scary looking one. This chart looks at the entire market cap of the entire crypto industry. And I shared a tweet and we even talked about this chart not too long ago. I'm going to find that tweet for you right now over on my page, and you will see that we highlighted, this was Jan 30th. I mean, this was yesterday. I said concerning breakdown on the total crypto market cap chart, the chart was holding up since 2023. And on the video, we stated that if we fall below 2.8 trillion, that's when things are going to get concerning. So we're sitting at $2.6 trillion. There is a very clean break, 2 daily confirmation, 2 weekly confirmation candles. And the next level of support is going to be from March of 2024 when Bitcoin first went to the over $70,000 area. And that's exactly where we are today. So 2.6 trillion, I think, will be a level that markets will attempt to rebound from. We're currently below the levels that we were at the top of the prior bull market. Sucks if we cannot hold that. Then for the altcoin specific industry, we would be looking at the 2.3 trillion. That would be the next level of support. But clearly, the uptrend has now reversed. It is officially a downtrend. It is officially, I don't think many people can doubt this. We also had a head and shoulder here on the total crypto cap. I don't think people can doubt or deny that we have officially entered into a bear market here. It's obvious, the signs are there. There's nothing you can argue about it over. And it's really upsetting. It's really upsetting that we've gone into this direction, right? People expected more. I tried to do my best to highlight why being optimistic doesn't make sense and why Bitcoin will follow what it did, again, from my opinion only, what it did during the QT ending bear markets. And this is looking at 2019. I've identified that, you know, from a monetary policy point of view, the current price action is very, very similar to the price action that took place between, 2019 to early 2020, where the Fed, they decided to, if we take a look at the balance sheet of the Fed, you will notice that this was the point where they ended quantitative tightening. So 2 months before QT ended, Bitcoin experienced the top. And then you started to see a little bit of quantitative easing 2 months after. And, the big QE sort of came in by the time we got into 2020. And for all that time, even when liquidity was introduced, Bitcoin consolidated and then started rallying to the upside. This was what we were expecting. When we put the current price action over that QT ending bear market, you will notice we're following it completely on par. We spoke about it with Benjamin Cowan, and that was the path that we wanted to follow, and that will lead to a bit more misery over the next couple of months. And that's the sad reality. Most people try to escape it. Most people don't want to accept it, but it's always emotional. People always go into denial. People always don't want to accept the truth of how ugly things look from a technical and fundamental point of view. It's very important, though, that you understand one thing. There's a lot of liquidity that is being built on the lows that was generated on April of 2025. That was at $74,000. That was also where we almost went up to in March of 2024. So it's a very important line of support that Bitcoin at this point, I think, is going to tag. We've been saying it would tag it anyways, but instead of happening within the Monday to Friday week, it is taking place over on a weekend. And that's annoying, right? Everybody's at home, everybody's chilling. Maybe some of you are out at dinner, having fun, and markets decide to do this, and now you have to sadly see Crypto Kid and watch him break down the markets for you. I know it's frustrating. Don't worry, it's all right. Okay, things could be worse. I do believe that 74.5 is going to be getting tagged at this point. If we check out the liquidation heat map, you will notice that there should be a lot of liquidity building up below those April 2025 lows. If I shift to Bitcoin and we look at that yearly time frame, you can see a lot of liquidations, right? Almost $200 million are there to be grabbed, and we're almost there. You know how market makers work. If you're already in a particular direction and there's an opportunity to take out liquidations, they're going to do it. So I'm quite optimistic that that's going to be closed. If you generate a lower low, if you go below $74,000, then again, from a technical perspective, theory perspective, then Bitcoin would also be in a bear market, because you would have generated a bearish trend on the weekly time frame. This would be your high, then you have a lower high, and then you would have identified your lower low as well if you go below 74.5. That's the level that I would be watching out for towards the downside. We took out all the support that we had from last week at 80.5. Even at 84.6, they're all gone, right? So now we're looking at the 74.5 level to try and attempt to see a bounce. But like I said, there's a lot of similarities between this cycle and the last cycle. Look at how similar this is. You have a lower high and then a higher high, and it's also a bearish divergence at the same time. You had a Q4 top. This was a Q4 post-halving top, Q4 post-halving top, bearish divergence, clean break. It's normal, it's obvious. I just don't think that we're going to get a dumpage like what happened following March of 2022. I don't think that this is going to be taking place. I do find the mid 65s, 67s maybe, even the lower 70s to be the low for Bitcoin. That's sort of where I'm projecting the bear market to identify its lowest points. We shared a chart many moons ago. It was looking at the production value of Bitcoin. It's the concept where precious metals, even Bitcoin, there's a certain production price to it. There's a price that is associated with how much energy you need to generate, how much compute power you need to generate, and what is the cost of that energy generation to give you 1 Bitcoin through mining. Commodities have the same thing. Extracting gold, extracting silver, all have a particular associated cost, right? And if you go too far beyond that production cost of a metal, or for Bitcoin, it becomes too overvalued. And when we focus on precious metals, precious metals are seeing a big dump. You need to use silver in producing things. Copper is used in electric vehicles, in the production of missiles, in the production of so many different things, that if copper prices go ballistic for too long, then it is no longer cost effective to produce things like the electric vehicles or solar panels with regards to silver. So there's always a price equilibrium. Price always corrects back down to where it is with the production value. And with Bitcoin, that average production cost is sitting at the mid 65s. So I found it to be very interesting because at those 65 levels, you obviously have a lot of support from the prior cycle. And that would already be a correction from the all-time high of roughly about 50%. And if we look at, from all-time high to lows, every single cycle, that amount of percentage depreciation shrinks. In the last cycle, it was 78%. In the cycle before, it was in the 80-somethings, 82%. Every cycle it shrinks. Previous tops were when there was so much retail, so much euphoria involved. In this cycle, there was no euphoria. So I wanted to assume that the 65 region would be a good level, and I still do. I think it will be a good level for Bitcoin to go to, but I hope you can see the similarities. I mean, it's literally the same. Same thing happens, and I think those mid 65s will be a good place for Bitcoin to show some justice to individuals that are holding on to long positions. I want to give you some good news. I feel like I've been giving you bad news back to back to back, and I want to avoid doing that. I don't want you to lose your brightened mood, which was probably the case this Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon until prices began nuking to the downside. Obviously, this is a move that's taking place over the weekend. Whenever Bitcoin decides to pump massively or drop massively over the weekend, you create something that is known as a CME gap. If you don't know what a CME gap is, by this moment in time, I don't know what to say to you. But it is a futures contract for Bitcoin where traditional financial individuals, people in traditional finance and institutions can trade Bitcoin more accessibly via this Chicago Mercantile Exchange futures contract. A lot of commodities have contracts on the CME. Like for example, soybean. What else? There's just so many different commodities that are on the CME. It is a very high liquid place, and it doesn't trade on the weekends. So when Bitcoin does something crazy like what it's doing now, it's down at 77.2. The CME over on Friday closed at 84.105. So now there's going to be roughly about a $7,000 to $8,000 CME gap. And it's a pretty big one. There's about a 97% chance that CME gaps close. I think we've proven that theory multiple times. I don't need to break it down to you. You guys know at this point that CME gaps have a very high probability of closing. The nominal value, if it's a $10 gap or a $1,000 gap, it really doesn't matter. That probability always stays the same. But when you have a bigger gap in price, right, it is a bigger gap in the order book. So a bigger gap in liquidity, and market makers like to drive those gaps to the upside a bit faster than the ones that are smaller. So we have two pending CME gaps now, one at 84.15 or 84.105, and the other one is a teeny tiny CME gap. For the nominal size of these gaps don't matter. They carry the same amount of importance. The other gap is sitting at $93,000 right over there. So two pending CME gaps, which is good. Okay, we hate CME gaps when they form as Bitcoin goes up and there's a CME gap to the downside. Everybody hates it. Nobody wants it to fill. It's like, everybody says, you know what, this is one of that 3% of the times where it's not going to happen, right? But obviously when Bitcoin is going down and there's a CME gap to the upside, people don't talk about it because they just sort of forget about it. But I want to remind you that we have not one, but two to the upside. And one of them is a pretty significant one. And it would take us back to 84.1. So hopefully that gives you some sort of relief when it comes to Bitcoin in the short term. I know a lot of you in the chat are scared. If you are scared about markets, put one in the chat. If you're cool, if you're buying the dip, if you're DCing and you realize that it's just always a good opportunity to buy the dip, put two in the chat. I'm very curious to see how you guys are feeling. If you want to be buying the dip and help support the channel, you can sign up to the crypto exchanges in the description down below where I personally trade Bitcoin. On weeks, you can get up to a $30,000 bonus. On LoveX, I started posting some member updates. So before I post on YouTube, sometimes I share analysis when I can on the go. Over on LoveX, it's completely free to sign up. I posted this Da Vinci interview on LoveX 2 days prior to putting it on YouTube. So if you want to gain access to it, you can just click the link in the description to LoveX, second link, and you will be able to access those CryptoKid exclusive content. I'm seeing the chat. In the meantime, it's too, right? People are not scared. People are taking this opportunity to buy the dip. I think that's what we should be doing. We're dumping on geopolitical uncertainty, and it sucks that that is the case. But we know historically that whenever there is geopolitical uncertainty, markets see an overreaction. People get scared, they decide to sell, and shortly after, prices start moving back towards the upside. There is another, not cool, I don't want to say cool, but if we go to SaylorTracker.com, we're at the 77s. And I've stated this again for a while now. I've always said that we're going to see Saylor's dollar cost average entry be revisited. And guess what? We are right now almost exactly at Saylor's average purchase price for Bitcoin. Look, he's only up 1.5% over the past 5 years to 6 years now of him purchasing Bitcoin. That's insane. It's really, really insane. Obviously, he is still in massive, massive profits because he didn't have a $55 billion market cap evaluation for MSTR. He had something much smaller, and he was able to raise equity from his own stock to purchase more Bitcoin. So he's still up tremendously. And for the people concerned about Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy on whether if it's going to get liquidated or not, no. You need to study how the debt structuring mechanism for MSTR works. Even if Bitcoin fell down to 30K tomorrow, or even in the next couple of hours, MSTR should be fine based off of how they have structured their convertible notes and their debt. So I'm not concerned for MSTR. You're probably going to hear some Michael Saylor FUD over the next few hours and next few days. People will say, oh my God, Saylor's going to get liquidated and whatnot. Yeah, don't listen to it, okay? I'm just posting a tweet real time. So if you're curious on how CryptoKid does his tweeting, you can follow my tweets by following using the link in description to my Twitter. I post here a lot, and I just want to say, breaking MSTR reached a net negative on their average entry price for Bitcoin. It was about, like, let's say it was about 40 minutes ago, 14 minutes. Once you reach a net negative on their average entry price for Bitcoin 40 minutes ago. There we go. Yeah, so it's crazy stuff. I mean, crazy stuff. Nothing that we didn't expect, but I think like what Benjamin Cowan highlighted, he said that en route to the April 2025 low, there were other wicks to be swept. For instance, Bitcoin just swept the low from November 2025, confirming that the bear market did not end late last year. So he's referring to these wicks. So he had a big wick and then price came and swept it. You can't see it because of my face. I'm going to remove my face. Let's remove my camera. There we go. So here, this was in January of 2024. You went below the wicks that were created in late 2023. And then during the horrible consolidation phase, from March until November of 2024, Bitcoin obviously had multiple wicks that Bitcoin later then came and swept below. And then here, you sort of swept the lows with the original tariff dump created in March of 2025. So that's what we're doing. I think there's a good chance we come down to that 74K low from April. And you know, I don't see Bitcoin going to 20K, 30K. Yes, maybe we can dump another 10, 15%. But really, if that's all we're going to see, isn't this a huge buying opportunity? And I honestly think it is. I honestly think it's a ridiculously nice buying opportunity. Even on the short term, we have the CME gap to the upside. We have two of them, not one, but two. The first one is going to be at 84.5 and then 93K. To me, this is not a lucrative enough opportunity to go short here, but actually a more lucrative opportunity to go ahead and swipe the dip. That's what I'm doing, and I can see that a lot of you watching in the chat right now are doing the exact same thing. Most of you are saying 2, which means buying the dip. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, right? Same old, same old. When is Bitcoin going to reach the 200-daily moving average? Look, I'm still hopeful that it will because it has done so in every other cycle. Is there a chance that it doesn't? As always, there is always a chance that things happen or not happen. There is no such thing as 100% certainty. I'm still waiting for it. That's where I found it to be most lucrative to enter into a short position. But look, honestly, do I regret not jumping into a short when we got this retest right over here on Thursday to the prior support line of the bear flag? Yes, I am quite sour about it because I mean we highlighted that this is a textbook bear flag. We knew the cyclical sort of structure and place that we were in. We knew that it was a bad time and things can get worse. So do I regret not opening a short position just to sort of have it open and then I could have scaled into it as we went into that 200 daily moving average. Yeah, I regret it. I should have probably opened a short position anyways, hedged against my existing longs, which I took profit on one Ethereum long. I'm going to show you Ethereum next. The smart thing to do would have been to enter into a short here and then scale in and probably average around the 94K level. That would have been the smart thing to do. It is what it is. You win some, you miss some. It's always a good learning opportunity. And yeah, we just continue. We move on, right? But it was a beautiful bear flag. I mean, it's just textbook. It's absolutely beautiful. You've come from such horrible price action, right? That creates the pull, and then after creating the pull, you made this. I mean, we initially thought it could be an ascending triangle. Maybe we can see a reversal to the upside. But no, at $97,000, when everybody became bullish, we said, no, we're going to come to the downside. And so we did. But here, when we experienced this breakdown, that took place on Wednesday. We saw the breakdown on Wednesday. We retested. We went down again. We retested again. That point would have been such a good entry, right? I'm very sour about it. I can't lie. I'm probably going to end up losing some sleep over not entering into a short there. Yeah. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's very, very annoying. And I was planning on doing so next week, but geopolitical tensions, breaking news, what to do. With Ethereum, I do have an opportunity though for you. In the short term, obviously it doesn't look so nice. We've highlighted this head and shoulders for a while now. And the good thing with Ethereum is I'm still bullish on it. If we can experience a retest to the support line, I think we will, by the way. I think we will come down to the support line of this greater ascending triangle right over here. Like so, like that. So I think we will come down to the support line. That's pretty much for me almost written in stone. And that's sitting at the $1.9 to $2,000 level. Lines up well with the target when you measure the height of the head and shoulder and you put it below. That's basically where you're coming to. It's a little bit lower, but I don't like to go with the exact measures of pattern heights and then putting them below breakout levels. I like to identify good levels of support from different things like patterns, and we can even do a Fibonacci retracement from the bear market low to the high that we experienced in summer of last year. And at that mark, you also have the 0.786, right? So it sort of rounds up to be a good place. I'm going to be buying up here. We're actually at the golden pocket on the fib, which is good. We should see some, at least a bit of a push to the upside. Again, that's why I don't think it's a good time to be shorting now. But I would be putting some limit orders to catch a crash to the $1.9 to $2,000 levels. If you want to do so, you can use the links in the description down below and set up some nice limit orders to buy that dip. Because when we see that crash, you're still stuck in a macro bullish setup. You're still stuck in an ascending continuation pattern. Obviously, you look back into 2020. You know, you come from bullish price action, you create this ascending triangle, and this is actually a bullish continuation pattern. And I think it's always best to buy the support line of these patterns than to buy the resistance and trade the breakout. It's much more lucrative if you can buy at 2K, 1.9K and ride that up. You know, it's always a better thing to do. So I would be putting some limit orders to buy Ethereum cheap there. I think we will get there eventually. Perhaps not today, perhaps not tomorrow, but I think it's a good buy the dip zone. That covers a lot of the Bitcoin charts. I mean, there's so many macro charts that we can jump into that we've identified over the weeks on why things are not looking as good, but you guys know them and there's no point to talk about them now because, you know, you're a little bit late to the party if you're just sort of tuning into the bearishness, but that's okay. I want to give some love to the chat one more time. Let's see. Which country, which city are you tuning in from? I'd love to know. Currently for me, it's 11:51 p.m. I want to know what time it is in your city. Are you up late? Did you also break off from what was going to be a nice date, I think? You know, let me know what exactly did you have to give up on this Saturday to look at the Bitcoin price action. 420 Bitcoin says, it's okay, CryptoKid. I was shorting at 96K, but I panicked out at 90K. Well, good. You made some profits. That's what you need to do as a trader. You made some good profits. Beautiful. Accumulating since 2020, says Alex. Congratulations. Luke is tuning in from Belgium. For Yaz, it is also 11:51. 420 Bitcoin is tuning in from the Netherlands. We have Desi from Switzerland. He says it's 9 p.m. We have DJ Morales from Portugal, Bulgaria, 9:52 p.m. We have G from, I believe that must be Los Angeles. If you're 11:51, you're 12 hours behind. That should be LA. 4:51 p.m. We have Athens, Greece, UK, United Kingdom, 6:51 a.m. Insane. We have Belchas, Mauritius, same time as you, dude. I always wanted to go to Mauritius. It seems like such a chill place. India, it is currently 1:22 a.m. in India. Singapore, Jenny is tuning in from Singapore. It is 4 a.m. in Singapore. My God, Jenny, you're a legend. You're an absolute legend. We have America in the chat, 1:22 a.m. India. Germany, 8:52 p.m. Insane, 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 guys. I appreciate you coming up so early or so late. Depending on where you are across the world. If you appreciate these streams, then make sure to destroy the like button because I appreciate you, every single one of you watching. You guys are fantastic. We recently broke above 65,000 subscribers, which is incredible. If you want to see more daily updates, then go ahead and subscribe because we're here every single day. Like I was literally making videos from the hospital bed when I got my appendix surgery. We're here today. I posted already 2 videos, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, okay? I was even at this like crazy Illuminati crypto elite conference called the Satoshi Roundtable, where owners of Binance and all the big crypto layer ones were there. And I said, no, you know what? You guys are more important. I want to be here for you. I want to stream for you. And that's exactly what we're doing. And that's exactly what I will do from this point onwards. You are my priority, okay? If I'm getting married, I will leave the altar and go live if necessary. That is the level of dedication that we bring to the table here on the Crypto Kid channel. So if you appreciate it, right, subscribe and destroy the like button. I promise you, you're not going to regret it. All right. I'm going through the breaking news over on Twitter. Twitter has been hectic. Today's been the 10th largest liquidation event in crypto history. Big time. It's a big one. Of course, non-comparable to October 10th. Just reading a couple of breaking news posts. In the meantime, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. We'll get around to them. You know what? Let's go through the breaking news together. I'll show you my sort of process of breaking down what's happening. I have a collection of Twitter profiles that I like to follow. If you want to follow the same people, you can just go to my Twitter at CryptoKid, go to following and follow the same people. And then I have notifications on for a couple of them. And I just go to my notifications and I see what is the latest and I pick out the narrative for you, build up my analysis and present it to you. So we'll do that live because it's an emergency live stream. We shall do it live together and see what has happened over the past couple of hours ever since we started the live stream and posted that update 1.5 to 2 hours ago. I see some FUD about MSTR, but that's completely acceptable. The fear and greed index is still at 20. The CME gap on Monday will be glorious. Yeah, true. I think Carl's on a flight. We'll see him soon. Why is crypto crashing? Here's exactly why. Crypto's downturn is being blamed on just about every possible thing, ranging from Iran to the Fed. However, the answer to this question is actually quite simple when you look at the flow data. Why is Bitcoin below $79,000 is entirely a liquidity situation. As outlined in this chart, there have been 3 well-defined liquidation waves, totaling $1.3 billion over the past 12 hours. In a market where liquidity has been choppy at best, sustained levels of extreme leverage are resulting in air pockets in price. So I'll break down to you what this means. Couple this with herd-like sentiment, constantly shifting from extreme bullishness to extreme bearishness, and the swings become even more aggressive. It's a great time to capitalize on polarity in emotion and in price. So we can see here at 3:40 a.m. Eastern time, we had crypto liquidation wave 1, and then 9 a.m. Eastern time, crypto liquidation wave 2, 3 a.m., so on and so forth, right? It's normal, and what the Kobeissi ladder really refers to is just good old volume profile range analysis, nothing too complicated. You can even incorporate this into your own trading view, into your own trading. If you go to your indicators and select VRVP, you will see the visible range volume profile. This just goes to show exactly where people are wanting to buy up and sell Bitcoin. So when I zoom out into this bigger range, you will see that towards the upper 100K and beyond levels, there was no interest. People were buying, but it wasn't comparable to the amount of interest that's happening at the mid 60s. And naturally speaking, when you break below these areas of very significant volume, if you break below them or if you break above them, then it will lead to dramatic price shifts. Like right over here at 97K, again, something else that we highlighted on previous videos, it was tremendous amount of resistance from the volume profile, right? There was a lot of buying and selling activity happening here. You pushed into it, you couldn't get above it, so you got a rejection. And now the biggest support line that we're seeing in this volume profile is at that 80.50, which was what we highlighted on the video we made on Friday, and we're currently going below that too. And now we're in this air pocket, as the Kobesi letter describes it. We're in this air pocket of liquidity where there isn't much amounts of buying or selling happening at this moment in time. And this air pocket is currently between the 71 all the way into the $79,000. Now we're about in the middle of it. We're in the midst of it. And quite interestingly enough, right, the next level of support is where that pocket ends at 71K. What was 71K? That was the March 2024 high. What happens if you reach to that 71K level? Bitcoin confirms a bearish trend, which we said would be happening, right? It is much earlier than I expected, and I will be completely honest with you about that. I didn't expect it to happen like this Saturday, but it seems to be happening, and we just need to deal with it and adapt to the situation, be pragmatic about it, and turn the opportunities we have now into profits in our trading. That's all we can do. That's all we can really do. The biggest area of volume, if we zoom right back into this range again and let the visible range volume profile do its thing, the most amount of demand is at $65,000. What is $65,000? The average production price for Bitcoin. What is also $65,000? These highs created when you take out the wicks, the highs created in 2021. So the mid 60s to me makes so much sense. It makes so much sense as a potential bear market low. And I'll even tell you another reason why it makes sense to me, and you're gonna like this one. Guys, please stop spamming the chat. That would be very much appreciated. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to put you on a timeout. Okay, and I had to do that now with Edgar, so please don't be spamming the chat. It is very appreciated if you hold off from doing that. I'll show you now another reason why the mid 65s sort of makes a lot of sense to me. So we'll zoom out. We'll zoom out, and take a look at the prior bull markets and bear markets. I need to switch to the crypto index chart to get the full historical POV, if you want to call it that, and we can get rid of the VRVP as well. All right. Okay, so when we zoom out, right, let's identify first where the bear market lows have been made. 15.7K, that was one. And then another low that we created was down at 3.1K. And then another low that we created was back in sort of the Genesis cycle, and that was at $150 to $160. So these are the lows that we're going to identify, and they're going to be the color of yellow. Now we're also going to identify the cycle highs, and we'll make that a different color. In the Genesis cycle, the cycle high was $1,200. We're going to change that to a nice turquoise, all right? Then the next all-time high was over at 20K. In 2017, and then in 2021, it was at $69,000. And obviously, recently we've had the new high at $124,000, $126,000. So when we look at these lows, all right, so when we look at these lows and see where they're identified, these lows that are created, they don't typically go into the highs of the prior cycle. So in the 2018 bear market, when Bitcoin dumped to 3.1, you didn't reach. So people here, including Tone Vase, who's a great friend of mine, and he became a meme for this, but then his historical sort of, his TA at the time made sense, and then people took it out of context and made the famous Tone Vase song, right? So here it didn't go down all the way to the highs of 2013 at 1.2K, you stopped at 3K, right? Perfect, so you don't go and revisit the lows. And then in 2021, you sort of came to around the highs created in 2017, 2018, and that led you to $15,000, right? But it was only like you just came a little bit into it. It wasn't like a big sort of massive dumpage lower. So when I look at the price chart now, where was the prior high? The prior high, I'm going to get rid of this to avoid confusion. The prior high was located at $69,000. If we jump into the mid 60s, you would just go below a little bit of it, like what you did in the last cycle, right? And then you can sort of make your way back towards the upside. So to me, the mid 60s really makes so much sense. And the fact is, we're already so close to it. Like today alone, we've fallen by what, $6,000. So in my opinion, we're already very close to identifying the top. Oh my God, we have Ben Cowan watching. Dude, oh my God, Ben is watching the live stream. That is incredible. Ben, oh my God, dude. Thank you so much, legend. If you're still watching, guys and girls, please give a round of applause to my TA mentor at this point and the legend of all legends, Ben Cowan. Thank you so much for tuning in. I was just showing the crypto kids some of your posts, and Ben, I mean, I was actually at a date, and then sort of markets started to crash on a Saturday, which usually never happens, and I was so bummed, and I thought, okay, you know what? Let's make an update because you guys matter more than anything else. When moon? Well, I was showing the QT ending bear markets chart too, overlaying the current price action over the QT ending bear market, and you've called it here on this channel. You've said that Bitcoin is gonna follow it, and you know I was sort of concurring with that analysis. And when we look at where we are at this stage, removing obviously the COVID crash, which I don't think both of us think it's necessary to consider, we are pretty much on track. And for the rest of this year, I mean, we are both of our macro base case scenario is that we would experience a consolidation. And then if we can see liquidity coming in towards Q4, then maybe that translates into a more bullish 2027. And that's what's happening. I mean, so many people are sour about it, but it is what it is. We're following those 4-year cycles perfectly. And I think it's time we take grasps of the situation and understand that, you know, things are not too good. But don't make the mistake of thinking, okay, you know what, now is the time to quit. No. I actually believe that it's relatively a nice opportunity to be accumulating. And we've identified these mid 60s from different pinpoints. One of them was the demand from the volume profile, and also the production price. The average production price of a Bitcoin is currently sitting at the mid 60s. I don't know if you saw this, Ben. Assuming that you're still watching, we made a video a couple of weeks back. Let's go and find it, and I want to show you exactly the chart that I'm talking about, because some of the audience members may not have seen that video. It wasn't too long ago. Bitcoin, are we going down to $65,000? There it is, 13 days ago. It feels like ages ago. But here you can notice there is a chart that measures how much it costs to produce one entire Bitcoin, and currently it's sitting at around $67,000. So that is the average cost that you need to put in to mine one Bitcoin. And commodities, they don't like to fall below this average production cost. Like silver, I gave the example of silver. The average production cost of silver was tested, and it was fallen below a couple of times, but you don't really sustainably break below with Bitcoin. You always found support. You never saw a sustainable break below it. And that's why I think the mid 60s sort of makes sense. It would be a 50% drawdown from the all-time high into those mid 60s. So to me, that area is a good time to start jumping back into optimistic feelings, or try to catch at least the bottom for Bitcoin. And that's sort of what I'm thinking, Ben. I would love to know what you feel as though is happening. If you're still watching, then let us know. It would be amazing. Everybody's saying, thanks, Ben. Hello, Ben. Ben is a legend. If there is one analyst, apart from CryptoKid, that you should follow, it's definitely Ben into the Cryptoverse. What an honor it is to having him watch the live show. And actually, I'm going to make an Instagram update because I think this is a very Instagram-worthy thing. I don't know if Ben gave up on Instagram, because the last time he was in Dubai, I was teaching him how to use Instagram, but I've not seen him post on Instagram since. So let's see. Let's do a live show story. Guys, make sure to put your comments if you want to be featured on the CryptoKid Instagram story. Okay, let's go hands-free. There we go. Now we're live covering the Bitcoin dump. I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the comments and the legendary Ben Cowan for tuning into our stream as Bitcoin goes down to $77,000 upon fears of increasing geopolitical tensions. Please don't mind the hair. Looks horrible. And the government going into a partial shutdown. So make sure to tune into the CryptoKid channel if you're curious on what I think will happen next for Bitcoin. there it is. That story is up and you guys are featured. If you want to see yourselves, then check out my Instagram in the link in the description down below. I gave a shout out to some of you guys. You can follow me and my lifestyle over on CryptoKid if that's something that you wish to do. Okay. All right. So I just want to give also another quick update on Ethereum for everybody joining. I think it's a good buying opportunity around those $2,000 levels. I mean, ages ago when Ben came on, he spoke about Ethereum coming home, and we made that video basically where at the prices that we're currently, we made it at 2.5K, and he said that Ethereum would come home at around 1.6, 1.5 thousand dollars, and that identified the bottom. I can even find that video for you guys. I'm trying to make as many reasons for why you should subscribe and watch these videos because it's valuable. It is very, very valuable that you do so. Okay, let's go popular. And there you go. It was 9 months ago. 9 months ago. Here, even actually, Ben Cowan predicts that we can potentially come down to 61. I hope we don't do that. Ethereum, yeah. So he said that we would come home. We ended up coming home 1.5, 1.6 thousand dollars. And yeah, I mean, it's just we got a reversal from there. And yeah, we're back down at 2.3, and I think we can come down to those 1.9K levels again. And I think that's where it's the most lucrative time to accumulate some more Ethereum. I was at a conference with a couple of Ethereum billionaires, and they weren't so concerned. I mean, they lost like hundreds of millions of dollars from their net worth over the past 24 hours, and they were chill. They were really not so concerned about it. I'm telling you, the event that I was at is like the crypto Illuminati. It's like a ridiculous group of people, and people just sort of disappeared after 10 p.m. because markets were dumping. But you know, it was chill. Most people weren't so concerned because we know the macro for crypto is here to stay. We know Bitcoin is here to stay. We know Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. So whatever opportunity we see to the downside, I think is a buying opportunity. A very hot topic was, are we going to see an asset rotation from precious metals into obviously Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Ben is famous for, in the past few days, saying that no, there is not going to be an asset rotation from gold, precious metals into Bitcoin. I had some hopes, okay, that we could see an asset rotation, but from the looks of it, yeah, it appears that maybe we are not going to see that at the end of the day. Time will tell. Latest from the Iran situation, there isn't so much coverage, but from BRICS News, we have Justin. Iran says it's ready for fair negotiations with the US. And this is after a potential American intervention in a gas leak that occurred about 4 or 5 hours ago. So hopefully it's true. Any sort of ceasefire and understanding of an agreement would cause markets to bounce back to the upside. Today is also a day where the government has officially partially shut down. The biggest shutdown in US government's history took place from October to November of 2025. The Democrats and the Republicans couldn't agree on a full bill to pass the next fiscal budget. So they decided to pass a shorter term fiscal budget, and they funded the government until January the 31st, which is today. And they couldn't come to a consensus agreement. So the government has gone into a shutdown once more, meaning the unemployment rate is going to be in a very bad situation, right? The unemployment rate, the risks to unemployment are going to increase. Inflation will producer prices index went already up to 3%. If the producers are seeing inflation, they transfer it over to the consumer side. So the consumer experiences higher prices too. And then the CPI data ends up going to the upside. And I think individuals have understood that with Kevin Warsh in place, we're not really going to see much of quantitative easing, at least like what we projected it to be comparatively to 2020 or what the expectation was. And I don't think they're going to be cutting interest rates for too long. And the markets were expecting and pricing in big rate cuts, and they probably will not happen. And hopefully that explains to you why we're seeing what we're seeing. And I want to go through the breaking news with you once more, just to go over sort of Saturday as a whole. I mean, can we find other clues into really what took place here? I mean, I know that last night they released about 3 million Epstein files. I don't know if you guys got the chance to check that out, but you should definitely do so in your own time. I found that to be interesting, but it's non-crypto related, so I won't commentate on it. Oh, wow. Okay, so Trump is doing a dinner tonight. I don't think it's going to be a live stream, though. I would doubt it. Otherwise, obviously, we would be streaming it. No, it's just the Iran and the monetary policy FUD. And for everyone, once again, worries about Saylor going into bankruptcy or getting liquidated. Yes, even though the price fell into his average acquisition cost per Bitcoin, it does not mean that he's going to get liquidated. So please don't confuse the both. Even if Bitcoin fell to, let's say, 20K or 30K, it just doesn't mean that he's going to get liquidated. The way that he raises money through common A stock share and through his preferred stocks via convertible notes, like, it's all protected and it's all fine. So there's no need to be concerned about MSTR and their Bitcoin holdings. It's okay. And I think it's quite impressive they're still able to buy like 2 billion in Bitcoin whilst the MNAV is trading at 1.00. That's a little bit of an interesting one. We already showed the total crypto market cap charts. Fear and looks like there was. Oh my god. Yes, it does. It wants to retest that logarithmic regression band, and really, that's sort of what we want that's what we want to see Ethereum do too. I think we can remove. Hold on, which log band does Ben use? Logarithmic regression. That's just that one. I wonder which one he uses. I'll have to ask Ben. Ben, if you're watching, can you let me know? I don't think you are, but if you are, what is the script you use for the logarithmic regression? That would be awesome if you could share it. Or we can just steal it from Ben. Yeah, it wants to come home again, doesn't it? And it's normal. I mean, in the last cycle, you saw Ethereum trade around that and trade into that logarithmic regression band multiple times. So it's really not too big of a deal. Yeah, there's nothing else. Just trying to find. You see, about 6 hours ago, 4 killed in gas explosion at residential building in Iran's Ahvaz, Iran's state-run Tehran Times. 1 killed and 14 injured in explosion in Iran's Bandar Abbas, says local official to news agencies. And the rumor is, it's not confirmed, but allegedly there was sort of a CIA intervention there. That's why there was an explosion. And there's a lot of Binance FUD which is going on, and honestly, look, I don't see the point of Binance FUD, because Binance is the single biggest institution within crypto, and the biggest institution is always going to get targeted. Like, regardless of your industry, the biggest institution is always going to face the most amount of public scrutiny, the most amount of eyeballs in terms of regulation and whatnot, and taxation. So I just, look, Binance is Binance. They're massive. And honestly, without Binance, yeah, this is what Iran apparently said. Without Binance, we wouldn't have seen the amount of adoption that Bitcoin has seen, crypto has seen. So I would just calm down on the Binance FUD. Assets are SAFU. Binance is a great team of people. Honestly, a great team of people. They're really incredible. I know the entire executive. I'm very lucky to do so and know so, but the entire executive list of Binance, I know them all personally, and they're great people. Really, so I really hope that people chill out on this Binance FUD and stop blaming others and pointing finger at others, and blaming individuals for what's happening. I think it's totally unfair. It's really unfair. Yeah, so the U.S. government shut down partially, and there is some required context, which is it's a partial shutdown. It's not a full shutdown. It's a partial shutdown, but still, it is a shutdown at the end of the day. Oh, Fefe and Ben did a video. That's cool. Fefe is a legend. We had Fefe on the channel as well. Yeah. Yeah, so there's nothing else, guys. There's really nothing else from reasonings to establish why this dump is happening. We know that precious metals were dumping aggressively simply because of the amount of individuals that were just getting involved when everybody's talking about precious metals, everybody's watching, things go down. That identifies market tops. So precious metals dumping, I'm sure, also has an influence on crypto too. I'm going to give some love to the chat. So if you have any questions, right now is the time to ask them. I'll periodically give you guys some love. Aha, Ben is watching. Ben, I love you, man. Thank you. We all have a classic case of bear market blues. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like this is totally a bear market. Like it is totally a bear market. There's absolutely no argument that can state that this is not a bear market. And Ben and I, like, again, massive shout out to Ben because I'm heavily inspired by him. And I hope he doesn't mind, but I'm just, he's I think he's the best analyst out there. So please go and follow Ben. We were talking about the 54. Ben uses the 50. I like to use the 54-week simple moving average. Basically the same thing, but I've found the 54 to be just a little bit more accurate. When we place the 54 simple week moving average onto the charts, you'll notice very quickly, very easy to identify, but every time that Bitcoin has broken below this 54-week SMA, it has concluded bear markets. Now, if you're a trader, if you're an asset allocator that is planning on exiting before a potential colossal move to the downside, you're not going to wait until a technical lower low and a lower high to say, you know what, okay, we have started the bear market, now I'm going to sell. No, when that happens, that's probably a good time to be buying. So even if you're theoretically not in a bear market, you have things like moving averages, which give you an opportunity to cut some of your massively leveraged exposures and to sell if you see fit. Obviously, I have my pot of Bitcoin that I'm going to keep forever, but you also have a degree of understanding of technical analysis, hopefully. And if you don't, that's fine. The more videos you watch, the more it will make sense. Here we can also trade with some of our pots of Bitcoin. And whenever Bitcoin broke below the 54 simple moving average, Ben, we highlighted that Bitcoin always enters into a bear market. Prices end up going lower, particularly after you see a Q4 top post halving year. And that's exactly what we did. That's exactly what we did. So the signs were obvious. The signs were obvious. Nobody wants to accept that lower prices are going to be what we experience. But sometimes we just need to understand that, we need to trust what we see on the charts, eliminate the emotions, and act accordingly. I am still very curious, though, Ben, if we will see that retest back to the 200-day moving average. I'm honestly very curious to see if that's going to take place, because currently, we're playing the cycles perfectly. Everything has been almost fully repetitive. Even the number of days it took for Bitcoin to reach from cycle low to cycle high has been consistent with the past 3 cycles. If the chart loads, I'll quickly demonstrate. So things are always the same based off of the looks of things now. But I'm just curious if we're going to see that move back to the 200-day moving average after what we've experienced on the price action currently. So look, this is from the low, the very low of the 2015, actually this is 2015, all the way to the cycle high in 2017. That's 1,065 days, right? And then you can look at the next cycle from the low in 2018 December to the high in 2021. That is also 1,065 days. And guess what? From the low of this cycle to the high of the cycle is also about 1,065 days when you measure it correctly. That, to me, along with Q4 tops, even in Genesis, prove the reality of the 4-year cycles. People deny it. People say it never existed and whatnot, and it was just about liquidity. Whatever you want to call it, it's there. There is a 4-year cyclicality. And each time you had a retested 200-day moving average. And each time when you fell below the 54 simple moving average, it marked a bear market. So I'm really curious, will we get that retest or not? And honestly, time will tell. You don't have to follow things exactly. And maybe this is a situation where we don't follow things exactly. And I'm curious to sort of experience it and watch it along with you guys. Quit saying I'll be honest with you. Just I am honest all the time. I want to make sure that I'm not hurting anybody's feelings. I'm trying to be sympathetic because I understand that in times like this, we're all very upset. Most of us have a lot of our net worth in crypto. And I just want to be sympathetic and careful when I do these live streams, when I do these videos, when prices are going down. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So I'm trying to use a more apologetic tone. That's why I say that. Investors are tired of Bitcoin, yeah. Love to the streamer. Thank you so much, guys. It would mean the world to me if you can destroy the like button. We're super close to 300 likes. If we can get there, it would be absolutely amazing. Who cares about anyone's feelings? Well, I do. I care about your feelings. I care about your feelings. I think somebody should always care about your feelings. Bitcoin's making it back up to 78K. Not too bad. It is a start. It is definitely a start. Remember, we have the CME gaps to the upside. So I would stay put with the positivity. I wouldn't get all doomy and gloomy. And things should get better once we close the CME gaps. I don't even want to go into the altcoins, but look, we'll do it because I know a lot of you want me to do so. So Solana has hit that $100 mark. For the people that have been watching this channel on an avid basis, we've mentioned that I really like layer ones. I like layer ones because tokenization is becoming a big thing. You cannot avoid it. Every big asset manager is focusing on tokenization. I was with one of the execs at Julius Baer, Switzerland's second largest bank today, at the Satoshi Roundtable, and he even said, we're focusing heavily on tokenization. Why? Because it is an immediate thing that blockchain has an impact for. If you tokenize equities, tokenize securities, tokenize commodities, you are creating an environment where things can you can buy shares, you can sell shares, and the settlements are done instantaneously, very low cost, very efficient, velocity of money across the country goes up, GDP of a country goes up. So tokenization is a very obvious thing, and it's in the process of being implemented. So when we look at tokenization, what are the chains that tokenization is currently being developed on? Well, you have Ethereum and you also have Solana. What other obvious thing that is a blockchain product is becoming popular and will remain to be popular? Well, we know that DeFi is also a big thing. Where is DeFi very strong? Well, in Solana and in Ethereum. So I really like Ethereum. We covered Ethereum, so I won't get into it now, but Solana is another one that I really, really like. And for the past couple of months, we've been saying that Solana can even come down to the $100 mark and maybe even into the 90s. And I just think that Solana is a good buying opportunity still. If we break below essentially the support line of the handle of this cup and handle pattern, which is sitting at even 87 can be sort of understandably a nice line of support. If you break it, I'm not going to sell my Solana. I'm just going to stop accumulating Solana and then wait for us to do what we need to do. But for now, I'm still holding on to Sol. I think it's still a good long-term buy. I mean, look at this. AVAX is down to $9. Absolutely disgusting. We said that the wick from that huge cataclysmic crash of October the 10th would be filled for a lot of these altcoins. And I said that I'm not going to be jumping into longs for altcoins until this trend line is broken. And the same altcoin, I mean, a lot of the top 10, top 15, top 20 altcoins have the same sort of trend line. And I said, I want to wait for a breakout to jump into longs, because when you see the breakout, prices go up fast, right? And I don't want to be risking going into longs right now. And like we stated, that wick that took place on October the 10th is now about to get filled. So AVAX, I think at that $8 mark for the long term is a good buy from my point of view. Why? Because I like AVAX. I like what they're doing. They have the RWA narrative. They have a good team. They've been here for ages. So as a business, I would personally invest into them once the token price is at $8. But I just want you to know that these things will probably not exist. Most of them will not exist in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years time. What is going to exist? Well, I'm very confident with Bitcoin, and I'm quite confident with Ethereum and also Solana, but the rest is a bit of a question mark. The rest is a question mark. And as somebody that's going into crypto, you probably, in this cycle, you probably haven't seen the coin market cap charts from, let's say, 2020, 2021, and even 2017. A lot of those coins that were there in the top 20 don't even exist today. Maybe, just maybe, if I can go to the Wayback Machine. If I can go to the Wayback Machine, maybe it would be so nice to take a look at CoinMarketCap's website from 2021 and 2017. I don't know if it's going to be possible though. Let's try Wayback Machine. I want to go to coinmarketcap.com. Was CoinGecko earlier or was CoinMarketCap earlier? It seems to be CoinMarketCap. Yeah, they saved it. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, we're going to have fun. Guys, okay, this is going to be fun. Stay tuned. Let me cook. You're going to like what we're about to show you. But first, make sure you're a subscriber. We're very close to 65,100 subscribers. If you're not subscribed, do subscribe for daily price analysis. We're here every single day. Regardless of the situation, we're here breaking down the markets for you. So make sure you're subscribed and you have the notification bell on. In the meantime, the Wayback Machine is hopefully going to load in. And we're going to be able to take a look at the coins that existed in prior cycles that no longer seem to exist today. And it will help demonstrate and prove my point to you. But we don't have all day Wayback Machine. Maybe if I press one of these things. Something's happening. Is this the 2013 website of CoinMarketCap? I don't think I've ever seen that. Wow. This is what it looked like in 2013. Dude, look. Okay, so this is Genesis cycle. We might as well start off with the Genesis cycle. So in the Genesis cycle high, Bitcoin, I mean, that can't be the high though. Let's go Bitcoin USD Genesis cycle 2013. Yeah, December was the high, and that was at $900, almost $1,000. So, yeah, that must have been like May of 2013. But look, I mean, Litecoin still exists. PP Coin does not exist. Namecoin basically doesn't exist. Feathercoin doesn't exist. TerraCoin doesn't exist. DevCoin doesn't exist. NovaCoin doesn't exist. BBQ Coin doesn't exist. BitBar doesn't exist. Okay, so that's the 2013 website. But I want to go later in time. There it is. Now we can pick and choose. So 2017 December. Yeah, 2017 December, probably around December 20. Yeah, let's go here. December 25th, 2017. That's about the highs of 2017. Is it loading? Come on, CoinMarketCap. Dun 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 dun. The internet is so slow. I apologize. Come on. There it is. Okay, so the website is a bit better. Okay, here Bitcoin's up to 15K. Yeah, this is around the top. So Ethereum, yeah, Bitcoin Cash exists, but obviously is significantly less valuable. XRP exists, Litecoin exists, Cardano exists. IOTA is way down, Dash is way down, NEM doesn't exist, Monero exists, EOS is way down, Bitcoin Gold is way down, Quantum is way down, Neo is way down, Stellar is way down, Ethereum Classic is way down, Lisk doesn't exist. Okay, Tron is still there. Zcash is still there. Ardor doesn't exist. Icon doesn't exist. Verge doesn't exist. Next doesn't exist. Omai's Go basically doesn't exist. BitShares basically doesn't exist. Populous doesn't exist. Stratus doesn't exist. Waves doesn't exist. BitConnect doesn't exist. Okay, so you can see it constantly changes and a lot don't stay. And then we can go to 2021, and 2021 will be the most familiar in the sense of coins that you recognize a lot. We can go 2021. The top was in November, so we'll do, yeah, I think it was around November 20, the top. So we'll take a look at that. So all I'm trying to say is, all I know that will be around here for the next decade and 2 decades is Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. So when I'm positioning myself to invest for the macro, I stick to Bitcoin. I always buy up as much Bitcoin as I can. Okay, this was a week after the top. So BNB is still there, obviously. USDT, Solana, Cardano, XRP, Dogecoin, Shiba, Terra, no longer. um, yeah, all of these are going to be more familiar, obviously. I mean, we didn't get altcoin season where new sort of projects were coming in, and Terra USD doesn't exist. FTX token basically doesn't exist. Phantom rebranded. Flow is gone. Clayton is gone. This is whatever that is gone. All of these are down ridiculously. Yeah, I think you guys get the gist of it, right? I think you guys get the gist of it. Yeah, I agree. You know what? Luva, Lentino, I agree. Bitcoin is the one. Bitcoin is the one that's going to stay. So if you can accumulate Bitcoin for the long term, we know that the financial system is going to collapse. We know the dollar is going to zero eventually. I think people got the taste of it recently with the dollar going down 20% over the past, or sorry, 10% over the past, would you call it year? Hold on, guys. All right, yeah, sorry. Okay, I was just making sure that Instagram story was up. Yeah, so they got a test. They got a taster of monetary debasement. Obviously, the dollar went down by roughly 11% over the past year since President Trump took office. So as the dollar goes down, people get scared, and I think there's a real sense of awakening on how the dollar is, you know, not going to be around for so long. And governments don't want you to own Bitcoin because, God forbid, if you own Bitcoin and let's say a lot of the people own Bitcoin and the government wants to go to war, but the people don't agree with the war that they're going into, how are they going to fund the war? They fund the war with US dollars. But if people no longer use the dollar and they use Bitcoin, then the dollar value reduces and they just won't have enough money to fund wars. Wow, that's terrible for the government, isn't it? So they just don't want people to have Bitcoin, because if you use Bitcoin and you stop using local currencies, then governments start losing power, okay? And they start to have to listen to you in the decisions that they want to make. If they want to go to war, then they're going to have to convince you that it's I mean, I don't know if there is any war that's worth going into, but they would have to convince you to jump into it, right? Because now you have your monetary freedom. They can't use you, right? This goes for so many things. If there's legislations or fundings of a bridge or a certain monument or a certain building, whatnot, if they need to fund it, they need the US dollar. If you don't agree with it and they still want to go ahead with it in this current financial system, they can't. But if you're a Bitcoiner and if a lot of people have Bitcoin, then they need to convince you to be able to do the things that they want to do. So Bitcoin gives you freedom in multiple ways, not just financially, but I would say even politically. And obviously governments know this. They don't want you to have that freedom, so they decide to they decide to take your freedom away. Most governments do that. It's just so scary. This is really not nice, dude. This is like really not nice. Like if we want to compare times, then this is basically where we are, I would say. And from that point onwards, how much more did you drop just for fun? Dropped another 50%. 50% from here would take you to 36K. I'm pretty hard to imagine that, you know. The sad thing is, like, everything is following on track. It's just we didn't get that 54-week or 200-day moving average retest. That's the only thing we didn't do. It's the only thing we didn't do. And it's so annoying because that would have been the perfect shorts. Ugh, it sucks. I'm going to text Ben about it after on how annoying it is. USDT is breaking out? What do you mean? Oh, maybe the USDT dominance you're referring to. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, and in fact, Ben even spoke about this, didn't he? Ben even spoke about it. Oh, triple bottom. Ah, horrible. Horrible, horrible. Okay, let me explain to you what this is. So basically, the USDT dominance chart looks at the average amount of people that hold stablecoins, and currently that's jumped to 7.2% from about 6%. So it's went up by 1% in one day, not even in one day. So a lot of people are shifting back to stablecoins, and they would rather be in cash than in assets. That's what it means. See, it's crazy. You had a triple top dump, and now you're having a triple bottom up. Insane. Okay, this is another one that I'm gonna have to tweet about. You're gonna have to bear with me, guys. I apologize. I mean, Ben shared it, right? Ben, the legend. Ben Cowan. Media. Where is it? There it is. Okay, that's USDT plus USDC. Yeah, and he posted this, what, 2 days ago? Legend. He predicted it perfectly. Perfectly. How does he do this? It's insane. It's like witchcraft. I mean, I want to focus on USDT. Sort of a nicer chart. Bull bear market support band. Yeah, I got that retest as well. Dude, Ben is a wizard. It's like witchcraft. Yeah, I mean, it's a clean breakout. I just want to post this on Twitter, guys. I hope you don't mind. Let's do this. So basically what it means is more and more people want to switch into cash rather than be in assets. And that's obviously, understandably, not the best of things. Well, what we can do is actually, we can do that. Log scale. Checking the historical, sort of more macro view. Okay, we can focus on these are. And we do the same. Beautiful. And then we can do a nice circle right there. And I'm going to save this and then post it to Twitter. And also put it on the CryptoKids Telegram, which if you're not in, by the way, you can join. It's for free. I've been posting a lot on that Telegram community throughout this entire day. And I'm going to show you now as well. I've invested in USDC and it's still at $1. Nice. You didn't lose on USDC. That's great, isn't it? Must feel amazing. If you're not in this community, I'll quickly show it to you. Let's do Telegram. So this is the CryptoKids community, and I post here. So I post both on LoveX and on the CryptoKids Telegram. If you're not in it, it's in the description down below. You can join for free. So today I've posted 80.5 is the next level of support. We need to hold it. We obviously didn't. I dropped a voice note. We have a CME gap to the upside. Geopolitical tensions are rising once again. 80.50 must hold. It didn't. Pointed out my Ethereum take profit and what I expect for Ethereum. and then I mention I'm going live too. So it's just a nice place for me to update the community when I can't immediately on that second make a live stream. If you're interested in joining, again, free to join. Link is in the description down below to join the Crypto Kids community. It's right over there. And now I'm just going to post. I'm going to post that chart with the liquidity, with the USDT dominance. Let's go ahead and download it. See this, you get to see the behind the scenes of Crypto Kids live because things are happening live. I didn't have the opportunity to prepare all of this beforehand. So in emergencies, we kind of had to do it on the go, which is fine because I think it's fun too. USDT dominance is experiencing a break out following a triple bottom. This shows that investors are seeking to be in cash rather than cryptocurrencies. Unfortunately, points towards a okay, that's up. All right, and I'm back to you guys. Oh, I see people joining already. Nice. Okay, let's go back to Bitcoin. How many liquidations are we on? Obviously not a nice thing to check, but might as well. Still 1.1 billion for Ethereum. Disgusting. We'll do a quick Twitter run one more time. What else do I want to do? Guys, okay, cool. So look, let's run over Bitcoin one more time. And I don't want to keep you up for so long either. I have tomorrow a roundtable session where I'm presenting why and how parents could teach their kids financial literacy through Bitcoin. And I think there's going to be some very cool people there. That's at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I need to make sure I get enough sleep, but we'll do one more check up on Bitcoin and then we'll call it a night. We're almost at 65,100. We're 18 subscribers away, so make sure to subscribe. And if you are looking for a place to be trading the volatility, you can go to the links down in the description below. Weeks gives you up to a $30,000 bonus once you click this specific link. Levex will give you member status. So over on Levex, we can jump into Levex and click that link. You just need to, if you're available to obviously trade on Levex, then depending on your geolocation, make sure that you can do so. But over on Levex, I've deposited some money to actually capitalize on the push downwards. But I'll need to have a discussion behind the scenes with Ben if he still thinks that we can see that 200 daily moving average retest. I'll let you know what he says if he replies back. I'm sure he will. And if you want to follow updates alongside Telegram, I will push positions, public positions here over on Levex soon. They're a very cool platform, a very, very cool platform. Indeed, you can actually open long positions and short positions at the same time with different leverage amounts. I've not seen any exchange do this. So a very cool exchange. And whilst you're trading on the side, you'll be able to see my updates and positionings real time. I think it's pretty cool. It's a very awesome feature. If you want to check it out, just sign up to Levex using the second link in the description. After you've completed your sign up, very easy to do so. It takes about 40 seconds as well. You go to the search bar and search for Crypto Kid. If you sign up with my link, then you'll be able to access those trades, those positions, and posts when I go ahead and post them. Okay, so make sure to check that out. If you want to trade commodities, precious metals, you can check out Bybit. They have the Bybit card. It allows you to spend your cryptocurrencies. The Bybit card is super cool. I've been using it for a while now. So you can check out Bybit in the link as well in the description below. With Bitcoin, 77.4. It's a Saturday. Remember, CME gap, right? CME gap, CME gap, CME gap. It's a pretty big one that we've created, so I wouldn't be surprised if we fill it up even by the end of next week. So at least that's giving me some relief. And the next level that we would obviously need to be on the lookout for is the 74.5 and then the 73.8, which is the March 2024 high. And that's where a lot of the volume on the VRVP is clustered around anyways. When you zoom into this price range, it's going to be between 65 and also right there at the 71 to 73K is also another place where we have a lot of supports from the volume. Guys, that concludes today's live stream. Hopefully you had fun. I had fun. Artur Zaskewaz joined the Telegram. Thank you so much. Great to see you in the community. Wow, I have 50-year-olds watching the live stream. Unbelievable. 50. There's people that are 50? Damn, dude. Were you born in the 19th century, 18th century? When did that exactly take place? Happy 50. Yeah, guys, I'm friends with Da Vinci. Da Vinci's like 53, so all good. I don't mind the 50-year-olds. But it's pretty interesting. You would assume that this channel has a younger demographic, but actually it's between mostly 30 to 50 to even 65 even. Oh, Diego is watching. Legend. Diego. I'm not being mean. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I'm not being ageist, okay? We accept people from all ages in this community. Wow, 44, 50, insane. Wow, 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 wow. Well, I'm so happy you guys are here. So happy you guys are here. Diego says, shout out to Diego. He says that it's time to buy more. It is definitely a time to buy more. It's definitely a time to scoop up and up and up and up and up as much as you can. Don't miss this opportunity. 70. Wow, good for you, my friend. 70. Wow, what an honor, sir. What an honor, sir, to have you watch our show. I hope you have a good time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, sir. Yeah, honestly, by the time we get to altcoin season, I'll probably be around those ages too. I just hope that you guys will be around to experience it. Ernest is tuning in from Peru. Wow, Peru, beautiful. 3:45 p.m. in Peru. Great to see you. Hello from Serbia, says Jan. I hope I said your name correctly. "70 years old from Korea." Oh, dude, if you're from Korea, then you probably have another 150 years left in you, dude. Oh, man, I wish I could have that same life expectancy as South Koreans. Great to have you, my friend. Great to have you. Russia, 41 Russia. Amazing. I'm going to put my age as well. Vinny says he's 44, but he thinks he's 20. Okay, then. So that means you're 20. Put 18. I'm 18 from Dubai. $75? What? Oh my God. That's incredible. I wonder who is the... Well, okay, so clearly I'm the youngest. I think in this live stream, I'm probably the youngest individual. But I would want to find the eldest, the most respect-worthy respect-worthy person watching right now. So we have 75 in the chat. Do we have anybody higher? Diego says, good liquidation today. Would be surprised if we have a pump back to 100K before. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm hoping for that to happen because that's going to be the perfect short, you know? We have 28 feeling like 40. That's great. 48 from the UK. Pinball says you 18. Yes, I know. I don't look it, but yes. 51 from Pakistan. Wow, amazing. I'm going to say 18 feeling like 46. Puerto Rico, 43. Incredible. Wow. Like, it's a bit weird then I open up with I open up my videos saying crypto kids, welcome back to another video. I should probably be saying crypto men and women, welcome back to another video. Oh, we have 18 from Denmark. We have 17 from Belgium. Okay, so we have Somebody actually younger than I am in the live show. Congrats, dude. I know it's the bear market, but if you keep at it, then you'll do really well. 17 from Belgium. 38, Las Vegas. Beautiful Las Vegas. Vinny says, I wish I took life more serious when I was your age and got into trading/investing. You're doing it right, brother. You will not feel the struggle that most of us feel. Well, yeah, I mean, first, I would say 3 years of my trading was very, very difficult. And then the past 2 years have been very good from my personal portfolio side. But yeah, I mean, we always learn every single day. We always get better, right? And that's the point of it. And the younger you start, the bigger of a head start you will have. 49 from Ireland. Are you from the Republic of Ireland or are you from the UK Ireland? Hopefully that doesn't poke the bear. 79. Wow. I might have been here for 7 years. All you ever experienced was producers by guys my age. We have somebody through 79. Sir, thank you so much for watching. What an honor. Oh, we have a 9-year-old as well. We have a 2-year-old too. Okay then. 65, Cyprus. Beautiful country. We're neighbors. I'm Turkish. Andy says, yes, okay, but kid, don't you miss party 24/7 all weekend and make money? Look, I was at a party. I was actually about to go to the stage and do karaoke. But yeah, markets decided to capitulate. And here we are. Sri Lanka 34. You guys are amazing. But you see, I don't enjoy that, party thing. It's not sort of my vibe. That's not what makes me happy. I still need to find out what makes me happy. I mean, I like doing these shows and I like making the videos and doing analysis, but I don't know what makes me feel like I'm having fun, And I guess I still need to figure that out. Have you heard of Laos? Of course I have. That is no. Laos is not Nigeria. Lagos is in Nigeria. Laos. No, please enlighten me. Where is that? 44, Massachusetts. America. Amazing. Costa Crypto in Dubai as well. Shout out to Costa Crypto. Hope to see you one day at a conference. Actually, I'm speaking at a conference in the AIBC Summit. It's going to take place on February the 9th. I'll just quickly plug that up for anybody in Dubai and you guys want to meet up. I have a panel discussion with the one and only Mr. M Podcast and a few other people. Let's see. Speakers. Oh, the Winklevoss. Oh, okay, no, they're past speakers. I'm interested in speakers of this event. It's going to be Eurasia, no? Eurasia? No? Oh, no, it is. It's Dubai. Speakers 2026, more speakers. Let's see if we find more. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Uni. There we are, Crypto Kid. So I'm going to be speaking, I don't know exactly which day. I don't know if they've released the agenda to it yet, but I'll definitely be there. So check this conference out. 9th to the 11th of February. I'll be there. Vinny says, just keep doing what you're doing. Life will be great for you. Oh, thank you so much, man. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. The fun will come. I did it backwards. Well, thank you so much for your kind words. Oh, it's Pinball Rockstar's birthday. Pinball Rockstar, mate, wishing you a very, very, very happy birthday filled with lots of health because health comes first. So you don't notice it until you lose it. So I'm wishing you a very, very healthy year, a very successful year, and enjoy your brand new age, my friend. Happy birthday. 35 Maldives. Oh, I was in Maldives in December of 2024. Very interesting place. I love it. I stayed at one of the atolls. I think that's atoll is what you call an island in the Maldives native language. It was great. I had a great time. It was very relaxing. I actually met a fan in the airport, in the Malé airport. I met a fan, and that was like a shocker to me, because like Maldives, really. It was amazing. My parents were with me as well, and they were like, "Oh my god, wow!" Uh, so thank you so much. If that's you, then thank you for coming up to me. It really made my day. Zadeli Rodriguez says, so Bitcoin, is it a great price to spot buy now, or should you wait for a lower price? Look, I think 77,900 is a fantastic price to spot buy if you want to do it for the next, particularly three to 4 years. You know, I'm spot buying all the way from now, and I was buying before too, but I'm buying all the way from now into those mid 60s. I think now until the mid 60s is great. I mean, you know, mid 60s is only about another 13% away. So, I mean, time, you're not going to get to time it. Unfortunately, the markets don't allow you to time things perfectly. So from now until about, 67, I think is a good buying opportunity. Let's go back here. I'm going to unpin you, Pinball Rockstar, and just end off with saying happy birthday to you. And I want to pin the legend who is 79 years old. I want to 79. We had 79, didn't we? Yeah. I think this gentleman deserves the shout outs. I hope you don't mind, Pinball. But a very happy birthday to you, Pinball. Don't worry, guys. That $20 microscopic CME gap at 93K will fix the market. Well, yeah, I hope so too. I really hope so too. Not financial. All right, guys and girls, I think we can call it a night here. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already for daily content. How many subscribers are we on? Oh my god, we're literally 2 subscribers away, guys. I'm not gonna end the live stream until we reach 65,100 subscribers. I am not finishing the live stream. Okay? If everybody that's watching is subscribed, then you're just gonna have to tell your friend to subscribe. All right? Because I'm not leaving. I'm gonna be sitting right over here until I did this for 60,000 subscribers. I'm gonna do it for 65.1K too. I don't care how tired I am. I'm not leaving until we reach 65,100 subscribers. So pretty please, can we reach it? It would be amazing. I believe in you guys. I believe in you. In the meantime, I'll just check my phone to see if there is any breaking news. I doubt that there is any breaking news. I really doubt it, but we can still check it out and see if that is the case or not. Oh, we did it. Oh, we did it. Oh my god. Guys, thank you so much. Very kind of you. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy the content. Honestly, look, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this. I'm here every single day for you guys. And I don't have one single bit of a doubt that you will not enjoy the content. So thank you for subscribing. Really means the world. Welcome to the Crypto Kids community. And I'll see you all very soon on the next update video tomorrow. Guys, again, thank you so much. Take care. And as always, have a great night, and I'll see you soon.